Well, good afternoon and welcome to live stream coverage of the TSL preliminary final between the Tigers and the Clarence Roos. A big day here at the Twin Ovals. They're spotting the grand final against Launceston on the line. I'm Andrew Cooling. Joining me to call the action is Anthony Osborne. We're in for a big one this afternoon here, Ross.
Yeah, great to be with you, Drewy. Absolutely. Huge, as big an occasion as you're going to get in finals football. A spot on the line for a grand final berth against Launceston next week. And these two teams haven't featured on grand final day. Kingborough forever and Clarence since 2010. So a huge opportunity presents itself.
So it was the Tigers who won all three of their meetings throughout the year, but they enter this game in poor form. Can they turn that round today? The Roos take first possession, clear off half-back, searching there for Alone, swirled away from him. He's immediately claimed. Saw a lot of stoppages in the game here last week. Are we expecting similar again today, Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, last week the weather was probably a little better in terms of the wet weather underfoot. Plenty of rain this morning, so I'd probably expect a pretty tough and tight finals footy contest early on. Saw Will Campbell on screen before as well, Drew. We might touch on that a bit in the next next stoppage. That was a fantastic to see his name pop up on the final team sheets this afternoon as Clarence worked the ball around in defensive 50. Sam Green does well to manufacture a handball over the top. Finds Ballsboom, is wrapped up in the tackle. Fiery stuff early on. Dygan finds a bit of room, gets it back to Lovell. We see him back in full flight as he drives it inside 50. Going back with the flight, almost pulling the mark in there was Paprotny, wrapped up in the tackle. Just got rid of the football, and Baxter Norton now plays the role of tackler. Another stoppage inside attacking 50 for the Tigers.
The Tigers bring the heat early. Eddie Cole and Tom Wright with a couple of ferocious tackles there to set the tone early in this one. Green up against Jordan Lane in the ruck, coming through his Cole, flicks it over the head. Steering a kick into the pocket, it'll just bounce into space in the Carter direction. Swinton just works him under the football and turns away. He'll keep that one in the fields of play. It pitches out, it's going to come right back at them. Zach Adams to take over in the half-forward line. Takes it quickly, just chips it in there because he had Lockie Clifford in plenty of space. And Clifford, kick from about 50 if he fancies the shot. It's time to assess the options. Lockie Clifford for the perfect start for this Tigers outfit. Coming into this form, haven't got one game in a month, not perhaps the form line you want heading into such a crunch game, but set themselves up in the early part of the season, get that double chance, be able to take the last couple of weeks of the season easy. Clifford steering it towards goal, won't have the journey, in the goal square. Lane was there, couldn't quite bring it down. Flip the handball in the direction of Soupy Campbell, he couldn't get there. Holmes, he's just fumbled that one. Kieran Lovell swoops on the football, swings one towards the goals, but it was always drifting wide, and Baker Smith will take it. Will not prevent the score, however.
So first score of the day going the way of the Tigers. So a few games this year that end of the ground can be incredibly difficult to score, and we saw in the D-League earlier, Drewy, that took until probably the last quarter for a couple of goals to actually be kicked at that end. So Kingborough, if they can get a couple down there in the opening term, it'll set themselves up well as Brady Rees takes the mark. One of a couple of Tigers who have made a return to the team today, and that man, Will Campbell, first game since Good Friday. It's quite the gamble to bring him out there this afternoon. So he now pops the ball inside 50. He's been involved in a couple of things early on. Jordan Lane couldn't quite take the mark. Wrapped up in the Baker Smith tackle. Around the corner, Luke Graham from the pocket. Luke Graham just rolls over and out. We'll have a minor score. Two behind the Tigers. 3 and a bit gone opening term.
He's a crafty player. There's Luke Graham in that forward 50. Always a threat, especially when the ball hits the deck. As Wiley drives the Roos out. Wasn't his best kick. I thought it crunched in the back a bit there. College unlucky not to get a free kick. The Roos would take the advantage. Send it forward. Elijah Reardon chopping that off, playing in front. Couldn't quite control it. Still comes away with it though. Elijah Reardon launching the Tigers inside 50. Carter there just lets it prop. And Swinton's got him covered. The handball back inside finds Jared Harper. Harper can swing it inboards. Wasn't the best kick to Barwick, who had a fumble. That'll invite some danger. The Lions now send it inside 50. Can they find the mark? The spoil came late from Swinton, but the free kick's been paid. And it's going the way of Luke Graham.
The ball just living this end of the ground at the moment, Drewy. Clarence really struggling to get the ball beyond centre. Kingborough just need to make the most of the opportunities early on when the ball's living down there.
Yeah, they do need to get something on the scoreboard. It's been a fantastic start. They've really brought the heat, the tackling pressure. Just forcing a few errors by foot for the Roos early on. Forcing the turnovers, keeping them back. As you mentioned, it's always a tough ground to get a gauge on, which is the scoring end, is the twin ovals. Luke Graham, a chance for the first goal of the afternoon. Looks pretty good off the boot, but just hung it out to the left, so another behind only. They're 3 straight. Roos yet to score.
Clarence just being hemmed into their defensive 50 early on. Look to try and escape on this occasion. Looks pretty static in front of him. He'll eventually go really short to James Holmes. Just one change for Clarence today as well, with Jack Tremaine coming into the side. Mitch Rainbird, there's a bit of speculation about his spot after a head knock last week. He'll miss today. Sam Green takes a good grab on the second attempt. Green-Gardner matchup. It's going to be a cracker all afternoon. Green just stops and props, looks to go really short, does, finds backs to Norton, urged to play on. Norton around the corner, bit of a worm burner. Kingborough players should win out through numbers. Adams gets it over the top, finds his teammate there in Godomski, who drives the ball inside 50, losing his footing there. Sam Green made a good fist at it to try and get to the footy, but they're under a bit of pressure now, the Clarence defenders, as the Tigers continue to surge the ball forward. Tigers players appealing for a high tackle. The umpire says play on. Lovell finds a bit of room where there shouldn't have been any. Just misses, minor score.
And all the attacking here at the Tigers. What a goal to show for the opening 6 minutes. That aspect at least will please the Roos, but they need to get their hands on the football a little bit more. And never being played at one end of the park. Clearing kick goes looking for Holmes. He's just got out the back here. It's a beautiful kick from Wiley. And Holmes can get them moving and send them inside 50 perhaps. He was just held up by Wright, forced to go sideways instead. We're just making a lead down the line. We go further afield instead. Goes looking for Jared Harper. Campbell there with him. Spoiled off hands. Scrap with it on the forward 50 yard. Umpire calls for a stoppage. Just real 4-0 forwards for the afternoon here for the Roos. They get to work here. Garland so dangerous in the ruck in these situations. Wins the tap down. Man in space. The snap shot drifting towards the goal. And straight through the middle. What a hit that was. And Clarence have taken the lead here completely against the run of play. First chance, first goal. Yeah, fantastic finish from Jared Harper. He just read the ball well from the stoppage and backed himself in. I don't know if it was quite the intention to have the flying shot on goal, but just placed it beautifully for the breeze, and that did the rest. And yeah, really a goal against the run of play. One straight, the Roos, Kingborough, 4 behinds, and yeah, as we said, Kingborough needing to make the most of their opportunities early on, and Clarence have done just that. So vital in finals, taking your opportunities. You can be second best, but if you're significantly more accurate, that can be all that matters sometimes. Absolutely, and yeah, good confidence booster for the skipper as well. First year as sole captain at the Roos, Jared Harper put together a good campaign and stood tall early on in this one as Clifford kicks the ball inside 50. A little too short for his teammate. Beerley swoops on the football, kicks it out wide, but that's going to be chopped off by Ed Golding. Golding just stops and props. Now sets the ball up inside 50, looking for Lane over the top. Baker Smith with a really good fist. Won't come back with interest though. O'Neill around the corner, screws it to the top of the goal square. Carter's there, so too Swinton. Luke Graham off the ground. That's making the most of your opportunities. Luke Graham, he gets the Tigers first. And he's always dangerous around goal. That's a clever finish. Yeah, Swinton I thought had done nicely winning the defensive contest there, spoiling it, but lurking there, Luke Graham, who's so dangerous when that ball hits the deck inside 450. Just an instinctive finish there. And they do get the goal that really their play in the first 8.5 minutes here had deserved. And they reclaimed the lead here. They've been firmly on top. It was pretty important they got a goal on the board. It certainly was, and it's the nature of those big forwards that Kingborough have, Tyler Carter, Jordan Lane, it's going to get some of the Clarence defenders a bit nervy down there, and that brings guys like Luke Graham into the contest, and he finds himself on the scoreboard. Perhaps slightly undersized from what the Clarence defence do, so perhaps a chance to cause a few mismatches there. Green and Gardner resume their duel. The deck, whole tackling way, just thumped off the deck, past Griggs. Godomski gathered by Holmes, that just lingered a little there. from James Holmes. Free kick taken quickly, flicked it to Ashland. He spreads it wide, finds Campbell. Driving rather in a little bit of space. Lees a wide option, instead just chipped it short. Wasn't a great service there for Campbell. Pitched in front of him. Flicked handball back to Roos, spoiled by Campbell. Coming through his hands low. And the Roos looked to bounce off half back. Driving it inside 450. Garland up against Donnelly. Donnelly did well defensively. Took it away from Garland. Now has some support. Digan sweeps back. Gave it to Griggs. Griggs stretching was Reese. Eventually able to collect. Flicked it back to Ashland. Ashland with an up and under. Gained a lot of meterage. There's a contest there. The Roos will take it away. Busting through a few was Beerley. Tackle laid there on Preshaw. The umpire says I'll have it.
That was a big early win for Ben Donnelly there, Drew. He didn't take the mark cleanly, but that matchup's going to be so crucial. Donnelly's done a couple of really good jobs on Garland this year. Not too many key defenders can say that. He's far and away the best big man in the comp down there is Digan. Outside of the boot, kicks the ball towards half forward, presenting well, taking the mark was Baker Smith. It's been a great addition to the team since returning from Victoria midway through the year. Smith and Wayne, another match up to watch across the afternoon as Smith sets the ball up down the line. Gardner had the sit, takes the mark. A couple of Clarence players cry for a push in the back, but Gardner take his kick. Sets the ball up once again. Lane v Smith. Smith wins out on the back of the pack. Dodges one tackle, gets it off to Ryan. Immediately tackled, got his kick away, but only as far as Digan. Thought about playing on. Eventually he will do that, Sam Digan. Puts himself in a bit of trouble, gets it off to Griggs. Lockie Griggs drives the ball inside 50 now for Kingborough. Dangerous spot, couple of players fly. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Tigers. Connor Salter, I think it is.
He was getting it in long and getting the rewards there. You've got those big men. Doesn't necessarily need to be them. Salter draws the free kick, but hesitated a little to go forwards. Eventually decided to have to kick to a contest. A bad bailout option.
So Connor Salter, first year at Tigerland, former Brighton and Glenorchy player, looking to kick the Tigers second in the preliminary final. No mistake. They get their second, 2-4-16. Clarence, one straight 6, and the scoreboard's starting to reflect the early dominance that the Tigers have had, Drewy.
Yeah, they've been in complete control here, really, for the first 12 minutes of this match. It's taking an opportunistic chance, and a particularly high percentage chance at that to get their only score. Apart from that, it really has been all the Tigers. They're dominating around the ball, they're just controlling things beautifully, getting it inside 50. We'll have to wait until half-time, of course, to judge accurately who's got potentially an advantage at either end, but all done beautifully for the Tigers at this particular moment. Gardner and Green. Marvel just dropping it. Green flicked the handball out. Keegan Ryan punched away by Digan. Trying to shrug a tackle there. Getting in trouble, Harper. Great tackle there from the big man Gardner. You love to see Ruckman doing that.
Yeah, of course. Without Tompkinson today, Gardner's going to do a lot of ruck work himself. He started well.
Harper looks to clear the contest. Spreads it wide, looking there for Tremaine. Leading him to the ball, Rees, but he's claimed in a good tackle from Tremaine. Godolphin in support. In his back of the there was Preshaw. Pile on. Umpire says ball went up.
Ball thrown up by the umpire. Gardner wins it down, looking for Cole. I feel like Eddie Cole's the sort of player built for a preliminary final on a potentially wet deck, Drew. He just loves it in and under.
Contested beast, isn't he? He'll be on the bottom of the packs all afternoon.
Looks like Keegan Ryan has been keeping a close eye on him early on, so sort of player who wins the footy at will. Eddie Cole, ball thrown in. Gardner wins it down. Holmes going to be first to the football, wrapped up by that man Eddie Cole, and we'll have another stoppage.
About letting Kieran Lovell stand on his own stoppages too.
Certainly, looks like he's back to full fitness as well, which is a dangerous sign for the Roos as Holmes emerges with the football, wrapped up by his fellow number 1, Lockie Clifford. One of the zealous high tackle. Free kick going the way of Holmes, who did a really good job on Mickey Blackburn for a lot of last week. Sort of player I think Peter Ryan can just chuck wherever he wants any given day. He's a really versatile player. It's Holmes. Takes his yardage and launches it to the top of the goal square. Mark not taken there by Sorty. opens the door for the Clarence small forwards, but they do well to the Tigers, eventually find Lovell. He opts to go across goal, risky kick, just works out, does it? Adams paid the mark. Heart and mouth moment there for the Tigers supporters, but Zach Adams will be rewarded.
Probably some front-on contact if it wasn't the mark anyway. Slightly risky moment, kicking across the face of goal, taking it away his Paprotny, driving the Roos inside 450. There's 3 players parked in front of Garland's leading space. One of them was Zach Adams, one of the elite interceptors in the league. He drives the Tigers, defensive side of the wing, flying from behind Baker Smith. He started well in that matchup with Jordan Lane. You mentioned you hadn't seen Colin Garland being beaten at all, if at all, this year. I think Jordan Lane in a similar boat and a massive matchup for Baker Smith today. Yeah,
absolutely. Lane's first year back in the TSL after winning the flag with Signet today. We're going to go back-to-back in the SFL Grand Final, but yeah, he's made the transition to TSL football with ease, really.
We gave it to Ryan. He sent a kick forwards, but he's going to bounce on out of play. He's looking to do some attacking here. Rare 4A forwards. The trees wind doesn't seem to be doing too much at the moment.
Yeah, waking up this morning, there was rain for hours, it seemed, just coming down. You can see a few muddy patches on the ground with the STJFL and the Development League running earlier, but for the best time for football all day is right now.
Joel flicks the handball out the back. Keegan Wiley will just blast the Roos forward once more. Then tracking towards the line, and again Godomski sees it out.
So the Roos starting to win a little bit of territory. This Kingborough defence is well organised. We have Garland against Garland in the ruck this occasion. Ball's thrown in. Garland wins it down, sharked by Zach Adams, who finds a bit of space. He started well as Adams, drives the ball out of defensive 50, looking for Lane, who has a couple to beat. Does well in the end, Jordan Lane, keeps his feet, waits for the reinforcements to come in. A huge tackle laid there by Salter. Not Salter, I should say, that's Tom Wright. A little overzealous, free kick going the way of Wiley. Wiley sets it up towards half forward, punch over the top from Godomski. Reading it well is Ryan. He goes inboard and finds Harper. Harper quickly moves it on into the pocket. Picks up Holmes. Good ball movement there from the Roos.
Yeah, clever kick, Holmes. It'll be a tough angle for the kick, but just spied the space in a pretty crowded 450 and just put it to the one spot he could, right to the advantage of Holmes. No one else getting to that ball. It's a sharp chance, but we've seen Harper convert from a similar spot.
Yeah, almost the exact same spot from Harper. James Holmes, a talented player, former Richardson medalist. Taking his time, looking to get the Roos' second goal of the contest. James Holmes, kick is on the way, never looked like it. Out of bounds on the full.
He's having trouble scoring. Garland making a couple of eager leads into the pocket there too. Looking hard off the ball, the big man. Peak leads. Rees shoots it back inside. There is the returning Campbell. And Gardner on this occasion, who just drives along in the Lane direction. Smith again flew. Lane brings this one down though. And a star of the contested marking. Yeah, infringement zone there. Got away with it perhaps. Lockie Clifford flicks the handball forward. Pretty tough one though for Carter to deal with. O'Neill got it to Carter. Got the coat hanger there from Baker Smith. Very high indeed. Handball quickly. Cole will send the Tigers forward to the back. Great mark flying over the top there. Superbly done. Harry Preshaw it might have been. And he takes it. Swings it wide. Patient with their ball movement today, the Roos.
Yeah, it seems like a concerted effort, doesn't it? They're usually really quick to wheel and go at all costs. Swinton feels a bit of pressure, goes out wide and misses the target, and that's the risk, I suppose, when you then do try and pull the trigger. Find yourselves in difficult positions and have a stoppage. Side 50 for the Tigers.
It's sloppy that. More pressure on the kicker. You want to play the slow switching game, you've got to be sharper than that.
Carter v Green. Carter. James Holmes at the bottom of the pack. Kieran Lovell as well. Tyler Carter's really crafty, these sort of stoppages inside 50. Goes head-to-head with Green again. He takes it. Immediately smothered. Moving the ball on, though. Trying to get rid of its right. Wrapped up in a really good tackle. Nice stuff there from James Bealey. Emerging as one of the competition's best defenders. Goes short. Finds Howard. Couple of short options. Tries to hoist it further down the line. Coming across. Now at ground level. Kieran Lovell will pick the football up. Does well. Gets the handball off in the direction of Rees, who's pretty happy to see that over and out. He probably could have just stepped across. Had a bit of a risk, but in the end, no harm done. Throw in front of interchange gates.
A bit of a foothold in the game, the Roos, in recent moments. We tick towards red time here. 10-point lead to the Tigers, who certainly have the jump on them. Gardner taking off the ball. And going in low was Ashland. He couldn't get his kick away. The tackle came from Harper. Tackle punished. The kick going to Ashland, just chips it short. Finds Dygan, just the 15. And 2 goes with the bare minimum and finds Eddie Cole. Cole now will pull the trigger and send it long towards the pack. Kind of lurking there. Fell into the hands of Borsboom. He skews it out of the fence. Pitches in front of the Loans. Under pressure from Godomski. Got rid of it, lost the football. Well done, Lockie Godomski. Wins it back, gets it moving quickly. Chips in the lane direction. Couldn't quite bring it down. Dygan with a crunching tackle. It just slipped a little high. And the free kick will go the way of the Roos.
James Holmes in the thick of the action across this opening term. Has the ball at half back. Goes the short option to Preshaw. Preshaw goes to Harper, just pitches in front of him. Now the pressure is going to be on the Roos. Luke Graham does well, gathers the football, drills it inside 50 and finds Jordan Lane. Lane continues to present. That matchup with Smith's been fascinating viewing so far. We've seen him take one big contested clunk, but he, for a big fella, got down well and took a strong run.
Yeah, I didn't think it was the best service initially, but I suppose he put it where Baker Smith couldn't get to it, and he was very tight to Lane, stride for stride, trying to get the spoil in, but just put it where the defender couldn't get there. So took the advantage of Lane, and that was a lovely kick for goal.
So Jordan Lane, Richardson medalist, best young player in the competition. Kick is on the way. Always looked to be floating to the left, and in the end, doesn't trouble the scorer. It was out of bounds on the foot. You can see, yeah, rather still, but just too much hook on the kick.
Didn't seem to get that a little, I think, but just drifted across. So it's chipped in short for Paprotny. Paprotny forced to kick to a contest down the line. Hand slowed the target. Strong fist came from Ashland. And ball over the top. That found Eddie Cole. He sweeps one into dispute right. Turned sharply, then lost the football, but manages to get away from trouble. Brought down from behind. Just got the kick away. Impacted though. Green able to pick it off. His handball, not a great one. Put his teammate under pressure. Paprotny back from Norton. Now Preshaw. They're being forced backwards here, the Roos. And now they'll be under even more pressure on the last line. Swinton drifts across. They always have the loose though, but they've missed him with a horrible kick to Holmes. Invites the Tigers back in. Handball over the top from Godomski to Dygan. Dygan stops, crops, centres the ball. Invited in the Clarence player. Just got absolutely clobbered. Will there be an advantage? Umpire says we'll bring it back. Feeling the effects of that one, Anthony Osborne.
Certainly will be. Lockie Griggs coming in a little late, but certainly making his intent known. They're just running themselves a bit of trouble at the moment, the Roos. Just seem to be putting themselves in difficult corners. Took over 23 minutes in this opening term. 10 points the difference in favour of the Tigers. That goes through the hands of Holmes and Dygan. Dygan now turns tackler. Preshaw breaks away. What a great looking kick. In the end, Gardner did well to read that and take the mark. He has it at half back. Switches the football again. A risky kick, but Will Campbell, the returning star, takes the mark. And off he goes. He looked pretty good early on, Will Campbell. So he hasn't played since Good Friday. Tom Wright has a bit of a job to do. Hanslow comes back for Clarence. Thinks his way through it. Has an option on short. Now with plenty of room, Clarence look to load up as they chip it down the line. Garland, close to his first disposal of the game so far, I reckon. He goes short. Mark taken on the second grab there from Barwick, who quickly moves it on. Barwick towards Gale. Reardon does well, nick of time. Punches it through for a minor score. Clarence's first blemish of the afternoon.
There's Reardon, the safety blanket there. It's kick from Barwick. So Roos finally able to string a few kicks together there. The disposal had been laying them down. Reardon goes for distance. Green with the strong spoil. The big ruck comes over the top and puts that one into touch. So, the longest of quarters with just the 3 goals in it, towards 25 minutes. It's a 9-point lead to the home side, the Tigers. Humbled by Launceston last week, wanting to earn themselves another crack at the premiership favourites. Here's Norton swinging the Roos inside 50. Garland just worked it on the Barwick. A little too forceful with the knock in the end though. That's out of play for a throw in.
A lot of Clarence's improvement this year has been from guys like Chuck Barwick. They've really taken a step up and have gone from probably being on the fringes of the team to being really integral members.
So if Garland can get to work at this ruck contest, he taps it down. Lurking. Taking it was Ashland immediately. He's wrapped up and going nowhere. Roos players happy for the Tigers players to get the ball first, so they can apply the tackle rather than be the one getting tackled. There's not a lot of room to manoeuvre inside 450 at the moment. Garland again flicked it over the top. Ashland again read it well. He's kicked on a great one, just eluded Cole, and now an opportunity perhaps for Boars. Boom! And he misses. That would have been a handy one in the shadows of quarter time.
Certainly would have. Tigers forced to defend grimly last couple of moments as Reardon brings the ball back into play. Massages the ball, nice kick. Finds Adams. Adams back to Reardon, forced to work, but he's got the athleticism to make it work there. Does Elijah Reardon. The kick wasn't his best bit of work. He was probably in 2 or 3 minds. Wrapping up the tackle was Liam Howard, but it doesn't matter. That will be quarter time in this one. Kingborough 2-4-16. Clarence 1-2-8. And interesting start to this one, Drewy.
Yeah, certainly a strong start by the Tigers. All over them yet, trailing the game midway through the quarter when Clarence got the first goal against the run of play. Clarence settled into the contest, started to get a little bit more of the ball, getting a few more inside 50s as the quarter wore on, but the Tigers certainly having the better of that first quarter, and they'll probably feel like they probably should be more than 8 points ahead of the first change.
Yeah, so the home side leading at the first break. Goals through Connor Salter and Luke Graham. Well, Jared Harper has Clarence's lone goal to this point. You are tuned in to the TSL preliminary final between Kingborough and Clarence on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app, thanks to DALY Potato Co. We'll take a short break from commentary. Second quarter coming up next.
So we're back for the second quarter here at the Twin Ovals. It's the Tigers leading 24-16 to Clarence 1-2-8 at quarter time. The Tigers certainly had the better of that first quarter. More inside 50s, more scoring chances. Just an 8-point margin though. It should encourage Clarence, and every indicator for that first quarter, Anthony Osborne, is we might be in for a bit of a low-scoring wrestle once again as we had last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Finals footy, and particularly finals footy at the Twin Ovals, it just seems to work that way. But I think, Kingborough, like actually I was going to say with Clarence, usually we're used to seeing the ball pinging around and really quick ball movement, but yeah, they seem to have really come into this game with a bit of a different mindset. Interesting to see if that persists across the course of the afternoon. And you should think when the ball's in tight and contested that guys like Eddie Cole are really going to go to work. So fascinating just to see the tactics, I suppose, from here on out across the course of the afternoon.
Yeah, they're going to need to sharpen their foot skills up if that approach is going to work. I can certainly see the merit in that approach, but it's 3 or 4 times just chipping the ball around the back half under relatively little pressure, turn the ball over. You've got to be a little bit more efficient by foot if you're going to go with that controlling game style. See if they can improve in that regard in the second quarter. Just ready to get underway here. Green up against Gardner, who run away in the second term. Green won it down. Holmes and Lovell scrapping. Tackle away by Green. A little advantage paid. Holmes seizes it, runs to just shy of 50, props around short. Barwick couldn't gather it. Flick the handball out to Lovell. Lovell sends it into space, and they'll clear half back here. Sunta sends them along in the Graham direction, sliding, couldn't quite complete the mark. DALY in close proximity, wanted the safety of the line, and just found it. They've had a problem holding the ball if the number tripled over there. Actually it did, and the umpire will toss it back into play. Opening minute of the second term. Green comes with a leap to take it away from Gardner. Holmes and Lovell around level. Green crashing through there. It was Borsburn who gets the free kick for high contact.
Lockie Borsburn with ball in hand. Nice work there from the Tigers just to get a hand on it. Works out okay though for Clarence. Harper lowers the eyes. Spots a teammate there in Ryan, who now launches the ball inside 50, flying high, unable to take the grab. Was Preshaw, back of the pack, Donnelly. Looks like it's going to be a 50-metre penalty. It will be. And Donnelly just saying thanks to his teammate there. Should say it's College, who now quickly move the ball on for Kingborough. Sees something he likes out wide. Goes to Godomski. Lockie Godomski brings the ball inside 50 in the lane direction. Really good defensive effort there from Baker Smith. The ball's still alive though. What can Clarence do? Luke Swinton, desperate stuff. Sees it over for a minor score.
Just for a moment, looked like it might stand up there for the Tigers player. Swinton sees it through. Smith with some good defending once again on Jordan Lane. A fascinating battle between two great young talents there as this one clears defensive 50. The mark was quite brought down by Preshaw. Trying to crash his way through there. Paprotny. The umpire calls for a ball up. Tackle again on right. They certainly brought the intensity around the ball early in this one.
Yeah, missed a fair bit of footy early in the year, Tom Wright. I love having back in the senior team.
And they want it down. Ball sent inside forward 50. Back with the flight was Howard. Couldn't bring the mark down. We'll gather this one. Has some time to assess his options and just drives it deep inside forward 50. Graham with Beerley to beat. Beerley did well. Handed it off to Swinton. An awkward clearing kick, just pitched it up there. Lovell first to it and claimed it a great tackle right back to Norton. Has to be holding the footy. Kieran Lovell took an eternity, and well done Norton. Wins a crucial contest for his side. Yeah,
really well done there from Baxter Norton. Put together another fantastic season. Opts to go short. Finds James Holmes. Beckoning for someone to present. Buys himself a bit of time. Now kicks it towards half forward, coming across, almost taking the grab. Not quite able to do so there with the Tigers. Jared Harper emerges with the football. Luke Graham sneaks up. He's kicking goals. He's laying tackles. He's putting together a really strong game so far, and he'll be rewarded with the free kick as he just tells his teammates to slow things down a bit.
Yeah, you've got to get rid of the ball quickly in this game at the moment. You take half a second too long, you're being claimed. The tackle pressure from both teams been immense so far this afternoon.
So Luke Graham has it across half back. Goes back to Donnelly. Donnelly goes short. Splits up Godomski's at a fair bit of it early. Out in the path of Salter, unable to complete the mark. Coles at ground level, but nice body work there from James Holmes. Opens it off for Howlett. Good tackle from Salter. Just got the handball away. Clifford kicks it back inboard. Graham. Hoists the ball inside 50, looking for Zach Adams, who used his body really well. Able to body Bealey out of the way. Zach Adams just continues to impress with his aerial prowess.
Yeah, expert use of the body, as you say there. Just got that separation from Bealey. It was all fair, just good side check. And gets a shot for goal as a result. They're a few better than him when the ball was in the air than Zach Adams.
Zach Adams looking to kick the opening goal of the second quarter. Kicking from just outside 50. Out on his range, Zach Adams. Kick is on the way. Bending back, going to go right to the goal line. Eventually over through for a minor score. So 2-6-18 the Tigers. Clarence 1-2-8.
Ten-point advantage here as Wiley wanted to go down the corridor initially. Nothing on, forced to go wide. Reardon up there. Did Lovell keep that in? Somehow he did. Umpire may be a little generous, but he runs into trouble and he's claimed by Ballsboom. So he gets him holding the footy. Maybe a slight element of ball don't lie about that one. There's Ballsboom. The saving tackle there. Chipping it short and finds Baxter Norton. Again, quite content to just patiently chip it around the back half. The Roos. Ballsboom once again. Contrasting styles. The Tigers have certainly looked to go more purpose off half back. They're forced to turn over here. Adams sends the handball wide, just buffered it off it. Free kick going away. The Tigers there.
A call for in the back on Golding, but pretty sure considers himself a little unlucky.
Certainly no intention of just delivering the ball back to him. That's not his mark at all. Anyway, presumably the defensive is set now. Golding can take his kick. Fortuitous yeah, in this one. He lofts into the pocket lane with a few to beat. Green Park back in there. All on the deck. Norton trying to scramble a kick away. And in comes Lovell. And trying to throw it back in.
Saw Lovell play the majority of the second half of last week, almost parked at full forward. Questions on his fitness, but he's certainly looked back to his dynamic self today.
As Lane takes it out of the ruck, swings the shot over the shoulder and puts it into the post. Would have been a splendid goal from Jordan Lane. But just another point, and they're starting to mount here for the Tigers. They're 2-7, leading Clarence 1-2.
So the Roos, the ball back in. Keegan Wiley. Kick from Wiley to the pack. Back of the pack, Paprotny. Just bodied off it by Wright. Coming in Burgess. Rewarded with a free kick. Harry Burgess saw something short, but just put it too far out for Ollie Preshaw. Just pitches in the field of play, over and out for a throw-in. 2-7-19. They've had their opportunities, the Tigers.
Certainly be further ahead.
Ball's thrown in. Gardner slaps it down. Looking for Godomski. Holmes just got the kick away. Burgess wrapped up in a strong tackle by Griggs. Not sure how he got rid of the football. The umpire says play on. Going in low and hard. There was Brady Rees. See Lockie Clifford, the skipper, giving a round of applause. Just said before, Drew, the Tigers, they were humbled last week, looking to really respond well today and win their first game in about a month and secure a grand final berth.
They obviously didn't need to win in the final round, rested some players and a couple of games against Launceston in there, so that explains it. But the most convincing of form lines to head into this game this afternoon with.
So Clifford has the ball. Broadcast side of the ground, just lofts it towards half forward. Coming across, Paprotny gets a fist on it. Over and out for a throw-in.
Top of the two, Ruckman. Gardner fires out a handball. Harper worked off it there by Ashland. Rewarded to Riley Ashland. Free kick paid. Opportunity to kick from 50. He so desires. A strong kick from here. Day where goal kicking has been difficult. Ashland. The arc of 50 looking to extend the lead out to 17 points. He gives it a ride at the expense of accuracy, and he misses the lot. So 2 goals 7. I think there's probably been a couple of out of bounds on the full in there as well. It is the area of the game just letting him down at the moment, the goal kicking. And leaving the jaw ajar for the Roos. Certainly general play firmly on top as Green's kick. Can't find Swinton again. They're having real trouble exiting defensive 50 and bouncing off half back at the moment.
Yeah, 4 or 5 times we've almost seen that exact play, haven't we? Ball's just been kicked out in front, just a little sloppy, and the players not been able to trap the footy and keep it in play. Gardner and Green go head-to-head again. Gardner wins it down, straight down to Cole. Cole gets it to Clifford. Clifford spirals the ball inside 50, looking for Wright, unable to take the mark. Now at ground level, he goes head-to-head with Paprotny. Distracting the football was O'Neill. I don't think he kicked that legally. He'll be pinned for holding the footy. Free kick going the way of the Roos. Back to Norton, who had some really important tackles across his second term so far. He's got Preshaw on. Opts to split between the two Preshaws in the end. Goes to Ollie. He's had a stack of the football early on as Ollie Preshaw, but we know what he can bring to the table. His kick eventually rolls inside 50 now for the Roos. An opportunity for them. Defensive pressure being applied and a little illegally on that occasion, holding the man. Free kick going the way of James Holmes.
Yeah, really well umpired there, I reckon. Waited to see if an advantage would develop. It didn't. Brings it back. Pretty clear kind of tug on the jumper there. Holmes gets the free kick, and if you can kick this and bring them back within 5 points, they'll be very pleased with that, because they've been well and truly outplayed thus far.
Had a sider in the opening term, James Holmes. That one lands on the full. See how he goes on this occasion. Looking for Clarence's second goal of the afternoon. Kicks on the way from James Holmes. He likes it straight away. The Roos get their second. And you're right, Drewy. All of a sudden, scoreboard puts Clarence in a really good position. 2-7-19 the Tigers. Clarence 2-2-14.
They've got the weapons in that forward line to do the damage. Keep them in the game, even if they aren't having a heap of chances. You mentioned Preshaw, we haven't seen a lot of him. Garland, these are players who are getting absolutely no service at the moment. If they can just give them a few opportunities, a few openings, they've got the firepower to make it count. So the Tigers, they're not going to want to leave the door ajar, because this is a dangerous opponent. They might just blast their way on through, take their chances, because they're just leaving him with a sniff at the moment, and Clarence doing a good job taking the chances they are getting. The goals, pretty good kicks. He's mixing it up. Lane heads into the ruck. Rest of this, Eddie Cole couldn't gather it, allowed Baxter Norton in. He lost his footing, but that was due to a trip, so free kick will go the way of the Clarence on-baller. Burgess offering a lead. He'll go slightly deeper in the Garland direction. Had 2 to contend with. Ball hits the deck. Barwick lays the tackle. Snap kick from Alones, but the throw's been paid, and Barwick will claim the free kick, and remarkably, this will put the Roos ahead. Yeah, immense tackle pressure there from Barwick, and yeah, it's a hot footy at the moment. Clarence looking to make the most of their chances. Dangerous when they've got it down there. It's just been getting it down there has been the issue, but Barwick goes back, slams it through the middle, and in the blink of an eye, the Clarence Roos lead this final 3-2-20 to 2-7-19. They've taken their opportunities. The Tigers have not. And it's the Roos who gets to run a play. Have seized the lead in the preliminary final.
Yeah, 3 behinds to 2 straight goals this quarter. Clarence up and about at the moment. Kingborough really need a response. And back to the middle, it's going to be Lane again. Against Sam Green. Ball's thrown up. Lane wins it down in the path of Lovell, but James Holmes first to the footy. Eddie Cole tried to get rid of it. Keegan Ryan involved. Now James Holmes wrapped up in the Cole tackle. Holmes a little slow to his feet. Thinks he might have been told to go off for the blood rule, but nothing coming out. So Lane brings it down the direction of Ashland. Preshaw scrapping away at ground level as well. The umpire will come in and split this one up once again. Lane over the top, holding free kick, going the way of Clarence. They kind of had a hold of each other. Could have gone either way, going the way of Sam Green. And goes short. One's Borsboom. Borsboom further wide. A lovely kick opens the door for Baker Smith. Smith lowers his eyes inside 50. Finds Barwick. That was a really smart kick from Baker Smith. He could have blazed away, but saw something he liked and lowered his eyes. And the goal kicker, Jack Barwick, will have a shot for a second in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I love that from Baker Smith. Had the match up with Marcus Gardner whilst Lane's in the ruck and thought here's a chance to bomb off him, run off him from half back and creates a scoring chance for his side.
So Jack Barwick looking for his second goal of the quarter. Kick is on the way. Always looked to be going that way. Out of bounds on the full. So let off there for the Tigers. Zach Adams to bring the ball back into play.
The Tigers just under pressure at the back for the first time extended period here. Umpire has blown a free kick off the ball here though, and I think the Roos are going to get a scoring chance as a result. Look at the hunger of Garland and Howlett to get first to this ball. It's going to be Howlett to take, but Garland was eager to get in on the act.
Remind me of Garland 13 watch.
I don't think this one will be passed off though. So Kieran Howlett to extend the Roos lead. And he misses. Puts it across the face for a behind only, and it's the Roos' opportunity to squander a couple of goal scoring looks. But starting to just have a bit of a spell here at the Roos. Ricky Clifford takes the ball at half-back. They've just evened things up around the contested ball in the middle in the last 10 minutes. Task set it there for Donald. He did well, but then he's gathered and dropped the ball. Great work, Baxter Norton. The hunger there. And the 50 for not returning it. Ooh. And suddenly, just starting to get away from them at the moment. The Tigers, the occasion is just starting to cause some issues, some ill discipline. The Roos are surging and they lead this one by 8 points. Slams it through the middle, and suddenly, from looking well and truly not quite on the canvas, but being outplayed, really not having much of a foothold in the game, to an 8-point lead, and suddenly it's the Tigers who need a bit of a circuit breaker.
Absolutely, and Baxter Norton's been the catalyst of so much of this for Clarence. He lays the tackle there, gets rewarded, gets a 50-metre penalty, but his tackle pressure particularly has just been outstanding. The leader around the midfield. He's been immense so far, and Kingborough really been issued a challenge now. 8 points of difference, and the 4-3 plays 2-7. Tale of making the most of your chances. The Tigers desperately try and halt this momentum. Preshaw through the middle. Campbell comes off the wing, wrapped up in the tackle. Gardner v Green. Gardner straight down to Clifford, who's wrapped up in the tackle. Free kick going the way of the Tigers. Preshaw fringing on that occasion as Clifford beckons for someone to present. Kicks it to the hot spot, launches it in. Sam Green does what Sam Green does. Running back with a flight, takes a strong grab. That's this really Sam Green on full display, isn't it, Drew? He just works so hard, particularly defensively.
Yeah, the athleticism he has to get around the ground, outstanding. And gets to so many contests, such an asset for his side. This one's cleared defensive 50. Reardon just putting Tremaine to the ground, and the umpire calling a hold. The free kick will go to Jack Tremaine. Garland wants it in the one-on-one against Donnelly. Goes slightly shorter and then turns the football over. Adams intercepting. Send this one in the Reardon direction over the head of Garland, out the back for Baker Smith. Able to just prop and then float one forward. A good mark taken by Hanslow, presenting up at that. Tyson Hanslow wheels off and send it in the Garland direction. Numbers the Tigers, but bounced into the hands of Preshaw. Gathered, puts it into the pocket where Barwick's burst out behind. Can he gather it in time? Godomski came across, did well, and Barwick was just a little more interested looking for the free kick than playing for the football there, I fancy. As this one's cleared, it'll come right back at them because Paprotny picks it off.
Oscar Paprotny, attacking side of the wing for Clarence. A wave of momentum at the moment, the Roos. Paprotny goes inboard, finds Green. Green goes short. Keegan Wiley, we know it's a big boot on him. Has to go short on this occasion. Finds Swinton. Swinton has Wiley there in support, eventually goes there. Wiley has to think his way through, run himself in a bit of trouble, does well, gets it to Ballsboom. Ballsboom fans it into the half-forward flank, and Barwick starting to cause some headaches for the Tigers. He wheels and goes, lowers his eyes inside 50. Garland was presenting. Pleading with the umpire for a bit of illegal contact, but we'll have a throw in, left forward pocket for the Roos. 20 minutes gone. 8 points the difference in favour of the visitors. It's thrown in. Garland v Gardner. Gardner wins it down. Coming off the line was O'Neill, wrapped up in the Ryan tackle. Just got his handball away to George O'Neill. Preshaw competing against Kieran Lovell. And we'll have a stoppage, defensive 50.
Just smelling a little blood in the water at the moment here, the Roos. Looking to make this period in the ascendancy count. Garland gets rid of Gardner, sends it to the top of the square. Reardon couldn't bring it down. Sweeping handball over the top of Beauty from Donnelly, and they're away off half back. Charging away with it now. They'll send it towards half forward right. Doesn't have the height. Competed really well though. And then caught with its Liam Howard. Somehow able to get it away in the end. Green stubs a little pass out of there. And Smith just making sure the umpire saw the contact. Looking for 50. Nothing doing. Just held up for the time being. Baker Smith. A great purchase with that one. Ryan in the preferred swings around. Good mark taken though by Burgess. Harry Burgess just stands it up. Wasn't on the same page there as Alomes, who was running back towards the 50 arc. Instead, we'll have a stoppage of forward 50. Red time here in the second term. The Roos have made their move in the back half of the quarter. They lead this preliminary final by 8 points. It's a fascinating arm wrestle. Goals at a premium. Gardner and Garland once again. Long tackle laid there. Just away there. Godomski Harper going absolutely nowhere. Some big players around this contest. Garland just trying to get rid of Gardner. Forced to scrap again at ground level. Gardner. Godomski lays the tackle, halting Garland, and we'll have another stoppage.
Just outside, attacking 50 now for Clarence. Garland, volleyball spike in the direction. Lovell, see it over and out. And throw in. Almost 23 minutes gone. Tigers goalless across this second term. Garland got the punch down. Another stoppage. It's like quite a while ago, those early stages of this second quarter, Drewy, where Kingborough had the ball locked inside attacking 50. It was like an age ago. The game's really turned on its head. Adams wrapped up in the tackle by Barwick. Just got rid of the football, said the umpire. Harper quickly kicks it inside 50. A little too hot there for Tremaine. But Jacques Barwick opens the door, kicks towards goal. It's through. Barwick gets another, and Clarence, they get their 5th. It's all happening for the Clarence Roos.
Yeah, swooped on that one expertly, Jacques Barwick, and he extends the lead to 14 points. Both periods have probably controlled both teams have probably controlled about half of this quarter, I reckon. The difference is Clarence have taken their opportunities. They are hammering them through, and suddenly that momentum building. Since the Tigers just hanging out for half-time at the moment, they're taking it off it. Everything going the Roos way. Absolutely.
3 behinds for Kingborough this quarter and 4 goals, 1 the other way for Clarence. Tells the story.
I reckon 2 out on the fulls as well for the Tigers. So I reckon they probably had 5 shots each. And just been unable to do anything with them. Suddenly, it's the Roos surging here at the Twin Ovals. Can the Tigers respond? They win this clearance. Right, clearly outbodied there by Wiley. Bit of a size mismatch there. Wiley gets it moving quickly. Suddenly the Roos going to play a little fastball. Green held up here because he didn't like his options. Baker Smith rolling forwards once more. Sends it to the contest. Fly from behind. Almost a remarkable mark. Reardon coming through. Just kneed that into the path of Clifford. Flicks the handball over the top again. They clear off half-back here through Adams. Sends the handball forwards. Lovely ball there to Salter, who send them in the Carter direction. Couldn't complete the mark. We'll get the free kick. Swinton just chopping the arms. And Tyler Carter will go back with a difficult shot, but a needed one here for the Tigers.
Yeah, first real look Tyler Carter's had at it so far. He's competed well in a couple of ruck contests, but hasn't really been overly visible to this point, so an opportunity for him to impact the game.
A chance for a steadying goal here for the Tigers. They're suddenly in arrears by 14 points. They need their goal-kicking full forward to produce here. Tyler Carter, what can he give them? From 45, he sets it on its way. Never looked like missing Tyler Carter. Straight through the middle, and they kept the margin back to 8 points and stopped the run of 4 consecutive goals for the Roos.
Yeah, that's a really big goal for Kingborough. They desperately needed it. It's a big goal for Tyler Carter. He's a confidence player, and do his confidence the world of good. Got the free kick and made no mistake. He's a lovely set shot. And dying stages of this second term, it just gives the Tigers something to go into the main break with.
The response they badly needed. The play was going back the other way, so to be able to take that chance, something they've struggled with in this match. An enormous steadying moment there for the Tigers. Still time enough for both sides to hit the scoreboard again, though.
Just go back to the middle now. Green wins it down. Eddie Cole, the soften is at the bottom of the back. Another stoppage inside the heart of the Twin Ovals. One down, Harper. Clifford. Now Gardner extracts the football out in the Diagon direction. Baxter Norton does really well. Evades a tackle. Scrubby little kick out into space. Keegan Ryan applying some pressure. Clifford gets it off to Reardon, who dances around 2. Gets his handball off to Cole. Cole had to work for it, but it works out okay. Now to Clifford. Clifford into the middle. Sets ball up for Tom Wright. Ball just hovered in the air for a little while, but he quickly gets the ball off to Adams. Adams spears the ball inside 50, but chopped off by Oscar Poprotny.
Nicely done back there by Poprotny. 27 minutes have ticked by here in the shadows of half-time. Anyone out to the scoreboard. Horrible kick picked off by Cole. Stands it up in the lane direction. Arriving late. Smith took it away from him. Campbell turning away. He's claimed by Beerley. Great goal-saving tackle there from Beerley. And the Roos hold on. They switch it now out of defence to Keegan Wiley. He chips one in the Smith direction. He's been tireless, Baker Smith, and he charges off half-back once again. Driving it over the head of Burgess on this occasion. Reardon across in support. He finds the safety of the boundary line. Clarence can reload at half-forward.
They've got some unsung heroes down there, but Beerley, Poprotny, they just do that week in, week out. Peter Ryan sings their praises whenever he can, but they've, it was a fantastic effort there from James Beerley. Ball's thrown in now. Garland punches it forward. Reardon's going to be first to the football. If he can trap it cleanly, he does. Finds himself with a bit of room now. Elijah Reardon out in the path of Diagon. Hot on his heels. Applying the pressure was Hanslow. Opens the door for Poprotny. Back to Hanslow as the siren sounds. Diagon with the tackle. And what a second quarter that was. Clarence put themselves in a terrific position. 5-3-33. They lead Kingborough 3-7-25. Andrew Cooley.
Yeah, it was the fair response, wasn't it? The Tigers firmly on top in the opening 10 minutes of that quarter, just as they really controlled that first quarter. They really looked like they were in total command. Suddenly, something clicked for the Roos. They tidied up their foot spoons a little bit. They took their chances, and they've certainly put this Tigers defence under pressure and look good when they've got the ball inside 50. They out to a 14-point lead there. Vital, I reckon, that Tyler Carter pulled that one back late for the Tigers, and well set up for the second half here. An intriguing preliminary final. We thought it was going to be a tight battle. That's what we've had so far.
Certainly will. A grand final spot up for grabs for the winner this afternoon. Half-time, the goal kickers for Kingborough. Singles to Connor Salter, Luke Graham and Tyler Carter. Clarence, 2 to Jacques Barwick. Singles to Jared Harper, Baxter Norton and James Holmes. Don't go anywhere. Big second half coming up on the live stream thanks to afl.com.au, the AFL Live official app and Daily Potato Co. We'll take a break from commentary. Second half coming up next.
Bloody right again.
Thanks, Dad. What was Brady with?
Best way to do it, beat Carl.
So we're back for quarter number 3 here, second half about to get underway. It's Clarence holding sway by 8 points at the main change. A strong second term has them in a good position. The Tigers controlled much of the first half and disappointed to find themselves trailing. How will they respond? They respond with the opening clearance to Clifford, looking for right at half forward, couldn't bring it down. Wrapped up was Howlett. Right comes in over the top of him. A ball up, so to make some inroads into that lead early on here, the Tigers. In dispute, thanks to Norton and Green there. Green out after this one. Cole just lingering a little with the tackle there, picked up by Howlett. Sent forward in the Barwick direction with an unrealistic leap. That'll be in the back, a free kick to Brady Rees. He'll take over half back for the Tigers. Next to a contest. Lane there. Gardner as well, showed a good pair of hands. Marcus Gardner. Ships it centrally, found Ashland. Back to Gardner. Now, we'll just stand this one up to the arc of 50 over the head of Lane. Sam Green across, handball to Norton. Was spectacular in that second turn, backs to Norton. Sends it long in the pre-shore direction, came over the top. Just a fringe a little on Cooper Sorting. And that's surely 50 metres for an infringement there from Tremaine, running straight through the mark. A little lack of discipline there. Gives Sorty a scoring opportunity here.
Yeah, hasn't had too many looks at goal in recent times, but used to be a key forward prospect for Kingborough.
A bit beyond him, so he just chip it into the pocket instead and park back there. Once again, Smith, so the best use there for Cooper Sorty.
Now it's kick out of defensive 50, flying high. College takes a good mark, and this is something that Kingborough didn't do a lot of in the second quarter, is take these clunks down the line. College now sets things up in the Lane direction, flying high. A couple of Clarence players impeding on him, and Lane looks a little worse for wear, taking the wind out of his sails. Smith's done a terrific job on Lane to this point. Ball will be thrown in. Carter v Green. Carter just protected the drop area, gets it in. Tom Wright does well through traffic, gets it off to Lane. Dygan, really good smother there from Baker Smith, then lays the tackle. Ashland tied up against the boundary line, gets it off to Golding. Ed Golding on the left, another smother from Sam Green. Desperate stuff from the Clarence defence as Jordan Lane lays the tackle. Really good work there from the Clarence defenders, not giving an inch. Lane now against Green. Lane tries to win it down to Cole. Cole somehow moves out with the football, but he didn't get rid of it. The umpire says, holding the footy. Free kick going the way of the Roos. Again, the defensive pressure coming to the fore.
Yeah, good decision from the umpire. Had the opportunity to fire out a handball, opted not so. Lots of Howard and Smith with a couple of good tackles. The last line there, Garland draws a crowd, floats over all heads. Rees caught with one arm there. Not much he could do, holding the football. physicality to this contest early in quarter number 3. Roos build off half-back. Barwick really came to life in that second serve. He takes it, wheels inside, wheels into a bit of traffic. Gets the kick in the direction down there of Loams. Couldn't quite bring it down. Takes it to the boundary line, flicked it back inside. Preshaw weaving through one. Couldn't beat the second though, he's gone. Holding the footy. Well done, Max College. A big saving tackle there.
It's a hot start to this third quarter. Defensive intent's been immense from both sides as College gets it off to Reardon. Reardon tries to massage a kick towards Gardner, but chopping it off is Norton. Norton pumps it inside 50 in the direction of Garland. Sorty at front position, unable to complete the mark. Ollie Preshaw now scrapping away at ground level. Umpire will come in to split that one. Sorty is in a good position, just couldn't quite complete the mark, and now dangerous position for the Kingborough defence. Gardner, desperate to make sure Garland didn't take it himself. Clifford, tunnel ball on the ground in the direction of Rees, who's met in a strong tackle. Umpire says his ball. 1.5 gone in the third quarter. 8 points the difference. Garland and Gardner once again. Garland tried to take it out of the contest, unable to do so. Harper over the top. Brady Rees gets the kick away. But James Holmes parks himself underneath it. This is certainly within his range. James Holmes read the ball best and took a strong mark.
Yeah, good forward pressure there, just forced the rather rash clear and kick. Could have gone anywhere, went straight to Holmes. A tough kick. We've seen a couple from this pocket this afternoon. They've gone it.
Looking to add a second to his record for the afternoon, James Holmes. Riley Ashland, the man on the mark, as Holmes crosses the paint of 50, tries to buy himself an extra metre or so. Kick is on the way, and he loves it, James Holmes.
Gave it a tremendous ride. Just used the man on the mark there, wheeled across into the space. Juiced the distance, gave it a tremendous heave. And first blood was always going to be important here in quarter number 3. Just the way of the Roos. Huge goal, that one. And 3 points. It's a handy break they've got. Tigers had plenty of opportunities this afternoon. So they're certainly far from out of it, with Clarence just looking far more efficient and dangerous side inside 450 this afternoon from Mike.
They certainly are, and perfect start to the quarter for them.
Gardner and Green. Gardner won it down to Lovell. He's immediately wrapped up by Holmes. And the umpire perhaps a little harshly pinging him. Not sure how he could have got rid of it. One arm pinned. That's why it was such a good tackle from Holmes. So making his mark with a goal now. A free kick for the Clarence. A Preshaw floats in and just drifts across in front of Garland and takes a nice play. Preshaw. He got the journey here. He gives it a ride to the line. Oh boy, does he have that journey. Preshaw drives it through, and Clarence are out by 20 points. Jack Preshaw with a fine goal, and the biggest lead of the game now for the Roos. It was a tremendous kick.
Certainly was, and yeah, it all started in the middle. Perhaps a little hot on the holding the ball cold there on Lovell, but James Holmes, the execution of the tackle, I think that's been the big difference so far. Clarence's tackle execution has been phenomenal, really. Guys like Baxter Norton and James Holmes, you can apply tackle pressure, but to actually apply a tackle that rewards you with the free kick, they've been absolutely terrific in that department and deserve their 20-point margin. As we come back to the middle, Gardner wins it down. Cole gets it off to Clifford. Kingborough in desperate need of a response as Clifford's high kick floats towards Jordan Lane. Back of the pack, Tyler Carter traps the footy, met heavily by the player there in Fisher, but he will be rewarded with a free kick. Tyler Carter, just like he did late in the first quarter, second quarter, his side desperately needs a goal here.
Yeah, he conjured the goods when they badly needed it there in quarter number 2. Can he do likewise here? Big kick in the game just to halt this Roos surge that's starting to build.
They'll cut the margin back to a more manageable 14 points. Tyler Carter looking for his second. Deliberate approach for goal. Umpire doesn't move a muscle. Great response from the Tigers. They move to 4-7-31. The Roos 7-3-45.
immediate response. Would certainly please Trent Barber that one as they win the ball out of the middle. Right down there and they're deep. And they've got the weapons to trouble this Clarence defence. This defence doing a fantastic job, but if they keep pumping in there, giving these guys looks, they've got the weapons to stretch and test any defence and work their way back into the match. But vital they responded because it was just going to get away from them this one. Clarence in the momentum. He was starting to build into a bit of a lead that was getting out of hand, so they cut it back to 14 points, but Clarence will take this one straight out the middle again. Garland almost bring it down. Donnelly's been magnificent one on the way. Dumping tackle from Harper on his opposite number, Rees. And he's going to be rewarded, is Rees. A high tackle adjudged by Jared Harper. Chip short, Griggs. Griggs moves it to Clifford. Clifford's off. Switch it out. Across the face, Spider-Man in space, just peeling across there was Zach Adams. He can chip it over the top. Continue to just poke it around by a foot. Kieran Lovell looks up into the forward 50 and he'll send them in the lane direction now. Big flight came from behind from right, but taken in defence by the Roos. Not a great kick though, turns it straight over to Connor Salter. A gift. A chance for the Tigers to cut it back to 8 points.
Yeah, it was a magnificent mark from Baker Smith, but yeah, just a little lazy on the kick. And Connor Salter, he's usually a pretty good finisher. He's got a good opportunity here.
They're just starting to open up a little in terms of chances. Coming to life in quarter number 3. These were a couple of quick ones. Can the Tigers put them back immediately? Salter will be kicking from around about 50 metres out. Can he punish the Baker Smith turnover? He works it back on the wind. Bent back, but too late. And a minor score only.
Keegan Wiley bringing the ball back into play. Good minute or so for Kingborough. Just hanging on. 13 points the margin. Wiley takes some room and then launches the ball towards the interchange side of the ground. Cooper Sorty decisively with the fist, over and out. Now this is an important couple of minutes for the Kingborough Tigers. Just starting to get a little bit of momentum back. They'll need to make sure they strike, because we've seen Clarence, when they get a bit of a run on, they can score incredibly quickly. Ball's thrown in. Holmes gets it off to Ryan. Hurried kick. College v Harper. College does really well. He ducked a tackle before it actually came. Sam Green comes pirouetting through. Gets it off in the direction of Keegan Ryan. Ryan just tries to move the ball forward. Good pressure being applied, and Hanslow comes in to make sure it's all wrapped up. Gardner, straight down to Ashland. Ashland, not sure how he got rid of the football. Rocky Clifford now comes in, sweeps on the loose footy. High hoisted kick in the direction of Lane. He's got Smith to beat. Lane almost reels it in. Supports there in Sam Dygan. So too Tom Wright. Wright gets himself in a little bit of space. Kicks towards goal. Tom Wright, bouncing ball. Goes on its end. Swinton is just there in the nick of time. Freakish bounce there from the Tom Wright kick, but Tigers get a minor score.
Had Swinton not been back in support, it would have turned back for a truly remarkable goal indeed. He's a clear defensive 50. This one bounces just ahead of Cooper Sorty. The umpire spotted a hold. Anyway, of the Tigers. What is it?
50-metre penalty.
It is, and a 50 as well, so compounding the error there. It's going to be Godomski. Perhaps taking in range here. Chance for the Tigers. Is there discipline that was a problem in the second term? Now Roos running into a few problems in that regard. Either way, Lockie Godomski. Kick from around about 45, sends it on its way. It's drifting across the face. Another behind. And the 4 goals 10. Roos ascendancy by 11. Reload from fullback Oh, Wiley once more, a little bit of indecision before making his mind up and just poking one out there to Alomes. Good ball. And his man in space at half-back. Alomes kicks it into the man on the mark. Ryan there, Barwick bounced away from him. Now Garland forced to lay a tackle there. Ball released. Barwick comes over the top and is seeking the safety of the Lions O'Neill, and he finds it. Stoppage on centre wing. Roos by 11. Minutes in this preliminary final, of course. The juggernaut of Launceston awaiting the victors in the final. Godomski next to this one. Pretty sure just tapped it away from him. Coming through was Ashland. Fighting hard, his home's at ground level. He's going nowhere. Umpire calls for it.
Umpire Geeson throws the ball. Gardner taps it down in the direction of Cole. Cole over the top to Eddie Golding, who just gets away from Garland. Golding goes laterally. Nice kick, finds Luke Graham. Graham moves the ball on quickly inside 50. Carter read the ball well, but the free kick will be paid Carter's way. It was the Luke Swinton effort coming across. Pinged, and Tyler Carter, well, he's got 2 goals that have come at clutch moments. This will be a very difficult shot, but kick this. Margin's back under a goal. Just breathe some life into this Kingborough campaign, Tyler Carter, so far. He's got an opportunity to further capitalise on the momentum. Tyler Carter, deliberate approach, kicks on the way. It's a good kick from Tyler Carter. He has a knack for the miraculous. And he gets his 3rd. Kingborough are back in business.
They've kicked 5 goals, 10. I think he's got 3 goals straight, Tyler Carter, and 3 of the sharper, more difficult chances of the lot that he's converted. His goal kicking has been fantastic today. He's been so composed, just steers it onto the boot. He described him as a confidence player when he kicked his first one, said it was important because that would get his confidence up. We've seen that with his next 2 shots for goal. He's put them straight through the middle. Haven't looked like missing, but they've not been easy chances. No,
he's just got such a deliberate approach to his goal kicking, doesn't he? It can sometimes look a bit awkward, particularly from distance, but great purchase, made no mistake. And the Tigers, they're back in town.
Just keeps the head down, drives the ball to that boot. It's an effective technique, there's no doubt. As Green and Gardner resume hostilities in the middle. Pre-Shaw with a crunching tackle on Campbell. And holding the ball paid. Campbell was expecting high contact. Ball the decision. Pre-Shaw sends the Roos in the Garland direction. And Garland gets the better of Donnelly just about for the first time this afternoon, I reckon. And he'll take his best from 50.
Certainly his first contested mark. I reckon that'll be maybe his 2nd mark of the game. He hasn't had a major influence to this point, Colin Garland.
To be fair, it's been a lot of 2-on-2s that have been kicked to rather than 1-on-1s and pack situations. He got the 1-on-1 there. He took the mark and he delivered the goal to restore their 11-point lead. Garland, he can. Beautiful kick off the boot, Colin Garland. He gets his goal and restores the 11-point lead. Strong mark. A lovely kick. He's a superstar, Garland. Hasn't had a lot of opportunity today, but he gets one there, and boy, does he make it count.
Certainly does. Beautiful kick from Colin Garland. And yeah, Ben Donnelly's done a terrific job on him so far. Garland just outmaneuvering him on that occasion. Clarence get the immediate response and back out to 11 points. 17 and change gone in this 3rd quarter. Important moments coming up now for Kingborough. Gardner slaps it down. Path of Clifford or Lovell, take your pick. Clifford gets it off to Lovell. Lovell inside 50 in the direction of Carter. Smith had a bit of a job to do. George O'Neill swoops on the footy. George O'Neill kicks the goal.
And another instant response. The response is coming here, and the goal's starting to flow. This game's really opened up here in quarter number 3. Goals starting to follow suit. And we have a fascinating duel on our hands here at the Twin Ovals. This is anybody's game. Both teams really up for the fight. Well, it looks like the other team might have a break. The other one responding. It is an intriguing preliminary final. The team's trading goals at the moment as it's back to 5 points. Thoroughly entertaining at the Twin Ovals. Dark skies. 5 points the lead for the Roos. Harper looks to take it out of the middle. Can they respond in kind themselves? It'll float over Garland's head. College was there, but it felt to Preshaw, who snapped one way off line. Barwick, in fact, out of bounds on the full. His tiniest effort there, but Sorty will eventually take it from the last line of defence. Really, the team that's just conceded a goal have pretty much won the centre clearance all quarter long. It's been the pattern of play here in this term. Just stumbling a little was Adams, and then got crunched by Preshaw to take him out of play. Didn't miss the chance to hit his man there.
Yeah, sort of, again, a bit like Eddie Carl. He's built for Finnish football, I reckon, Jack Preshaw. Tough as nails. Ball's thrown in. Neither ruckman able to get to the football. Gardner with a clever handball over the top to Clifford. Spearing ball there from the captain. Finds Wright. Wright wheels and goes. Back with the flight. Swinton held his position well and took the mark, but the free kick would have been paid anyway. Swinton quickly moves the ball on. Finds Jared Harper. Harper has a runner presenting, and Howard opts to go further afield himself. Nice kick. Finds Tremaine. Late inclusion this afternoon, Jack Tremaine from Mitch Rainbird. Told by his teammates to back himself in, so he'll be kicking from right on 50.
Seems to be the easier pocket to kick from this one on the ground. People have been kind of bending it back, starting it that left behind most and just working it back off the breeze. We'll see if Tremaine can do likewise.
Jack Tremaine gets himself an extra metre. Kick is on the way. It's a pretty good looking kick. Just missing. 3 for a minor score. So 8-4-52 the Roos. Kingborough 6-10-46. 6-point margin as Lockie Griggs brings it back into play.
Three loads. Plenty of Roos shirts there. Baker Smith been so impressive in the air. He's done a fantastic job on Jordan Lane today. One of the great aerialists in the league. Smith's had his number. Drives the Roos deep to a contest. Preshaw from behind. Not paid the mark. It bounced off of Adam's shoulder and then took it at the second attempt. So it'll be a ball up only. So nearly came from 3 deep to claim that one. Jack Preshaw starting to exert some influence. Jack. Garland tried to take it out of the ruck. Flipped through away from the Loans as he tried to get something going. They're behind for the Roos. Their lead extended to 7. Roos taking his time on this occasion. The last one came straight back to them. One way, then the other. He's run a long way there, Lockie Griggs. Got the kick away. It wasn't a good one. Straight to Paprotny. He gives it across there to Borsboom. Borsboom spots a man in Preshaw and puts it into the space in front of him. And starting to loom large, Ollie Preshaw will go back to try and extend the lead.
I felt Lockie Griggs just ran himself in a little bit of trouble there, didn't he? And didn't quite execute the kick. Ollie Preshaw, such an exciting young player. I saw before with that big pack mark, he almost has, it's a bit sneaky how long his arms are and how he can extend them out. It's a really good finisher in front of the sticks as well, but opportunity for him to get a steadier for the Roos.
And red time in the third term. Red time goals worth their weight in gold here. Can Preshaw put the Roos out to a 13-point advantage. And hangs it out there to the left, and it never looked like scoring. Out of bounds on the full.
So Zach Adams will bring the ball back into play. Long kick to the pack. Gardner's there. Can't quite take the mark. Paprotny handballs it off. Chiseling kick there from Norton. Campbell applies the pressure after it was smothered. Hot footy there for the Tigers defence as Norton high up and under in the direction of Garland. Donnelly competed, but Garland just read that ball better than anyone else. Held his ground, protected the drop zone and took the mark.
Again, a one-on-one. There wasn't the support that time for Donnelly, who's been fantastic, but a lot of the time has had that extra body into support at the contest. They can start isolating this matchup one-on-one. That bodes really well for the Roos.
So Colin Garland, 1 goal to his name so far this afternoon to extend Clarence's lead. The preliminary final. Colin Garland. Kick is on the way. Umpire has to do a fair old jig, and that's hitting the post. Minor score. Chance goes begging there for Clarence. Tigers are let off.
They're just missing a few chances in the last few minutes here, the Roos. They could have extended their lead, built it a little further. Something that's plagued the Tigers throughout this afternoon. Now creeping to the Roos game. That floats out the back. Smith claimed the mark, but I reckon a free kick might be paid in front to Jordan Lane. And he's brought back to him. He sends it down. Green dropping back into space. A big man in front of Tiger there. Won it. And now the Roos can reload. A little chip ball for Burgess. Was good below his knees. Barwick now hitting up. Juggles the mark, Jack Barwick. And he spy a target inside forward 50. Off he goes. Runs into traffic. Wasn't a great kick. Punched it low. Garland with strength. Just trying to shrug off Donnelly. You're locked in. We'll have a stoppage. Like an arm wrestle there in the forward pocket there.
See Donnelly with a big grin on his face as well. He knew he wasn't going to get Garland to ground.
Just happy to hold him and wrestle him to a draw. Ball tight to the line. Gadomski escorted over by Burgess. Big moments late here in the third term. Clarence holding sway by 8 points. They could extend that to 14 heading into the final term. It would be a pretty decisive break and a real mountain for the Tigers to climb. Garland flicks it over the top. Tackle laid again by Barwick. Dialing up the pressure late here in quarter number 3. Will it lead to another scoring opportunity? Gardner and Garland try and get rid of him, take the kick. Gardner won it down. Barwick, Rees with the tackle. But just threatened to slip a little high. Good down.
Just feels cagey for the Tigers defence at the moment, doesn't it, Drewy? Holding on.
They are holding on for the time being. Out the back, going through, balls boom. He was offline. I reckon they've just wasted a couple of opportunities at the back end of this quarter, the Roos. The Tigers fortunate perhaps to still be a 9-point game here, single-digit margin.
3-3 the Tigers this quarter, Clarence 3-4. Donnelly takes a kick in duties. There's a percentage play, flying high and taking the mark, Baker Smith. He's putting on an aerial display this afternoon. Moves the ball on quickly. That was a terrific mark. He kicks it to a dangerous spot. Players flying. Back of the pack. Borsboom sniffing around. Ashland's there as well. They see each other over the line. That was a terrific mark from Baker Smith.
He's been enormous, hasn't he? Thought he might be a bit outsized and outmatched by Lane today, but he has dominated in the air.
Peter Ryan would be able to put him wherever he wants him, really, Baker Smith. He's such a versatile player, but playing a fantastic role this afternoon. Borsboom trying to trap the football. Screws one over the corner. Lockie Borsboom! That's a fantastic finish. Something out of nothing. Clarence, they get their 9th goal and they further their advantage.
Well, it had been coming. I mean, the ball had been living inside the Tigers' defensive 50 for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Eventually that pressure was going to tell, and they do get their reward, Clarence. They're up to a 15-point break now. And the way this game's gone, they're looking very, very good to advance through to the grand final. It's going to take quite the turnaround for the Tigers. So since quarter time, they found themselves largely outplayed. They're going to really need to turn things from here. Clarence looking pretty comfortable. 15 points. Going to be tough on a day like today where goals have not arrived easily. So back to the middle, Gardner and Green. Important final couple of minutes. Cole again on the bottom of the pack, and again it's Baxter Norton wrapping him up. He's been fantastic in that engine room for the Roos. A large part of the catalyst for this comeback from Clarence has been his work in the midfield. Green goes to flying leap, but Gardner slapped it down. Harper tries to extract it, got to Holmes. Holmes flipped it back. Tumbling kick in the Garland direction, but just dropping into the space. The intercept mark is taken in front of him by Max College. Steers it to Gardner. The Tigers would badly need a goal here before the break. Reardon a creative tight, put it in front of Reardon. Lane couldn't bring it down. Smith got hands in there. Bealey takes it away once more. This Clarence defence been fantastic this afternoon. Hands low, walking the boundary line, sends it in the Barwick direction. He couldn't bring it down, but it came out the back for Preshaw. Kept it moving, but straight to Griggs. The Tigers Oh, terrible kick. Turned it over. Great tackle laid though by Ashland. A saving one on Harper there. He looked away. Screws around the corner. Ball in dispute on the wing. Bounced off of Clifford. The Roos take back over. Stands it up just over the head of Garland. Into the pocket. Preshaw couldn't quite keep it in. And the siren surely just about imminent. There's a 15-point margin. The Roos looking to add to it.
Yeah, well called, Drewy. Frenetic couple of moments. There was some Herculean efforts from a couple of players there as the umpire now looks to throw the ball back into play. Garland against Gardner. Tigers in a desperate position. Norton out of thin air. Just pitch inside the field of play. Did. So, another throw in. Left forward pocket for Clarence. Just ticked over 29 minutes in this third quarter. Gardner slaps it down straight to Lovell. Lovell around the corner, hoping that someone's there for him. The ball bounces in the direction of Howlett. Howlett to Norton. Norton wrapped up in the Cole tackle. And Kingborough may well have just been saved by the siren there. Three-quarter time. Kingborough 6-10-46. Clarence, they're 9-7-61. Andrew Cooling and the Roos, well, they were challenged throughout that quarter, but just seemed to have all the answers.
Yeah, that's it, Anthony. They were absolutely tested there. The Tigers fought back, got back within, kicked it under a goal. Seeing a pretty even battle developing, and then in red time there, Clarence just took back over, controlled the game, repeat inside 50s, really lifted the intensity. The Tigers find themselves in a bit of a hole as we turn for the final quarter. 15 points the margin they're going to have to haul in. And we'll be back shortly to see if they can do it. Nice brought to you by the Daily Potato Company. And it's Clarence looking to spring the upset on the Tigers, holding sway by 15 points at the final change. We'll be back shortly to see if they can hold on and book their ticket in the grand final. Launceston awaits. Don't go anywhere. A big final term coming up for you. we're back for the final term here. It's a 15-point lead to the Clarence Roos as we start the final quarter of the Twin Ovals. Preliminary final day here, live stream brought to you by the DALY Potato Company. Any chance the Tigers, Anthony Osborne?
Well, we saw they got a bit of a run on at times in that third quarter, but Clarence seemed to have all the answers. So even if they do burst out of the blocks here, you just would think that Clarence, so far, they've been able to have all the responses. But Kingborough, they've been clearly the second best team in the competition for the majority of the year. There's talent right across the park, so you wouldn't rule them out, but Clarence certainly in the box eight.
20 minutes left to book your place in the grand final. 15 points the lead that the home side must haul in. Slapped forwards and Lovell a chance for an early clearance. He'll send the Tigers deep inside 50. Flying from behind, Swinton couldn't bring it down. Hits the deck, handball from Lane. Numbers with the Roos. Carter picks it up, out the back for right. He's got some space here. Oh, he didn't get the elevation. He went low and Swinton was playing goalkeeper. And he sees it through, and a big missed opportunity there for the Tigers.
And that's a third goal that Luke Swinton has saved on the goal line today. He's played that goalkeeper role perfectly.
Coming to his side's rescue there, Luke Swinton once again. Keegan Wiley will reload. Punches it wide, floated it across. And found his man in some space. And Howard will drive the Roos down the line. Just losing his footing there was Howlett. Mark taken. And the Tigers only can swing them inside 50. Down to the target. Lane flies from behind. Flicked out by Dygan. Umpire calls for it. So the Tigers have started most of the quarters pretty brightly here this afternoon. They've quite often been the sharper starters after the restart, but Clarence have got better as quarters have worn on. Clifford shakes free, works it to Ashland. Ashland just gets that horribly wrong, right off the side of the boot. And with a wide open 50, he punches it and bounds on the full. And his tidiest work. Sam Marine will take a free kick to the back pocket. The side leading this one by 14 points. And they hold on and punch their ticket to the grand final next week. Kicks to a contest. Ryan almost bringing it down. Handball flicked out by Dygan. Doing well to keep it in. Lovell. Handball flicked backwards. Just unable to trap that one though. And Clarence trying to take it away. Hanslow was caught. Godomski charging through. Just slammed on the boot. Just want to bounce ahead of Holmes. Punched by Campbell into space. Howlett couldn't gather it. Howard diving in there, and eventually someone does get a clear and kick. They'll swing it to half forward, but Elijah Reardon's parked back there. He takes the mark for the Tigers. Sends it across to Adams. Adams looks further afield. Dygan making a searching lead for him. Pitches in front. Rolls out behind. Dygan with some time. Pressured by Howard. It impacted the kick. He was still able to find his target though. And they'll send it inside 50. Can Carter get on the end of this one? Bealey took it away from him. Carter tries to shrug one, shrug two. He's wrapped up, and the umpire calls for it at the top of the square.
Yeah, it was really well done there by James Bealey. One-on-one with Tyler Carter. It's not something many defenders would want to experience, but he did a really good job there. Not out of jail just yet, though. Green over the top, gets the fist. Harper. Holmes, wrapped up in the tackle. Have another stoppage. Nervous moments for the Clarence defence. They've held up so well across the course of the afternoon, across the course of the season. Going into this final series as the competition's form team. Carter protected the space, but he blocked Green illegally. And a little exchange with Luke Swinton as well. Carter perhaps a little lucky not to give away the 50-metre penalty, Andrew.
Very fortunate, I would have thought. The umpire felt he was just making a little more than there was, but it seemed like he clocked him right in the holes.
Crane goes short to Holmes. Holmes moves it on quickly. Kicks to the pack that includes a couple of high flyers. Elijah Reardon there, unable to take the mark. Clarence have the runners now. Howlett gets it off to Garland. Garland just handballs it away from the contest. Backs to Norton around the corner. Kicks it inside 50, but with plenty of space. Lucky Godomski takes the uncontested mark. Switches the footy across to Zach Adams, who just continues to work tirelessly. Zach Adams brings it more centrally. Risky kick. Clifford and Reardon are there. Reardon works it out. Hurried kick towards half forward now for the Tigers. Tyler Carter's there, so too Luke Swinton, and Swinton's off to the races. Does really well with the composure. Finds the target, but Elijah Reardon at the last moment does the team thing and punches it over and out for a throw-in.
Yeah, similar type roles for their sides at times. Swinton and Reardon doing that lockdown defensive stuff, and also just charging out of half-back, creating a little. Great example of the score there from Reardon. Made up the yards. One down there by Ashland, headed towards the boundary, and was always likely to win out, and does. 15 points in the lead. First goal in this quarter, pivotal. The Roos were to get it. It would become an enormous task for the Tigers. Really sense they need the first one. One down by Ashland. Just kept out in front there. Partly away, Clifford. Might bring it in. White also in there. Over the top is Ballsboom. Umpire eventually calls for it. A tight, contested game here at the Twins. 14 points the margin. Green against Ashland again as this one's around the corner. Gardner sliding in, couldn't quite complete the mark, but then it's gathered and turning towards goal is right, and he drives it into the post again. And they've missed some opportunities this afternoon, the Tigers. 13 points the margin.
Certainly have, as Wiley goes short to Swinton. Swinton in the direction of Smith, unable to take the mark, but does just enough to keep it alive here for Howlett. Howlett shipping ball out into space. Lockie Griggs screws it around the corner, back inboard, and coming across, Zach Adams takes a good mark. Putting together a really impressive afternoon is Zach Adams. He goes in the direction of Carter, a long way from home. Carter launches the ball inside 50. Gardner's there, back of the pack now. James Holmes has Tom Wright for company. Sees him over the line for a minor score. 6-13, the Kingborough Tigers. Clarence 9-7-61.
Well thought out by Holmes there, and you could just ride that contact across the line and at the distance and see the behind there. Wiley, the Tigers doing a good job just hemming the Roos in for the time being, but Clarence's back six continuing to hold up as they have all afternoon. Jack Bowen, his handball shut down by Carter, then lays the tackle. The big man working hard defensively. And then giving a little bit extra to Bowen, which Baker Smith takes exception to. And comes in. And plenty of physicality out there this afternoon, that's for sure. Baker Smith knows only one way to go about it. He tossed it back into play. Green wins it down, but only so far as Love will turn back into Holmes. Might have been lucky to get away with that one. Dancing through traffic is Clifford. He punches it deep. 2-on-2. Brought down by Graham. Terrific contested mark from Luke Graham. And he can go back and cut the margin to one straight kick here.
So many years he was the lone hand down there, Luke Graham, for the Tigers. Plenty of tall timber targets down there with him these days, but it's proven he's still one of the better forwards in the competition, Luke Graham. Golden opportunity for him here.
They've been knocking on the door for the opening 8 minutes of this term. Can he find the goal to cut the lead back to 6? He does. Luke Graham kicks truly, and it's 7-13, 55 the Tigers. The Roos lead it, but it's just a goal in it, 9-7-61. They've started this quarter really well, the Tigers, but that's what they've done probably the first 3 quarters of this game. This has been around about the time where Clarence have got back on top. They need to do it again here.
Yeah, much like the starts to those other quarters as well. I know Graham's just kicked that goal now, but 1 goal 3 to start the quarter. Clarence yet to score, so it's all about making the most of your opportunities. And with the grand final berth on the line, Kingborough have never been there in TSL senior competition before. Well, Clarence, they haven't been there since 2010, so both teams desperate to make it to the last day of the 2022 season. This game well and truly up for grabs. Big couple of moments coming up now in the middle of the ground. Clifford paddles it out in front of himself. College, who's put together a good afternoon, just loses his footing. Bit of an awkward kick, but it goes inside 50. Big contest there between Lane and Smith, and I think Lane's taken the mark. Despite the two of them losing their footing, that's a really strong grab from Jordan Lane.
Juggling on the ground there. Jordan Lane is struggling to do it in the air, so does it from the ground, why not? But big moment in the match here. He can level scores up. He's a beautiful kick of the football, Jordan Lane. This is one that for most players it's a 50-50 for Lane. I'd say it's more an 80-20.
This time last year he was leading Signet to glory in the SFL. Now he's back in the yellow and black, hoping to take his Tigers through to the TSL Grand Final. Jordan Lane. Kick is on the way. Umpire has to do a fair movement, but that's a goal. Jordan Lane, fantastic finish. And that is such an important goal in this contest. That's his first of the afternoon, and we are all square at the Twins.
Scores level, Jordan Lane. It's been a tough day. Baker Smith has been a good match for him. He's taken the chocolates in that duel so far, but with 20 minutes left to play, scores level. He can still be the match winner for your side, Jordan Lane. He kicks one there, can kick another and get them over the line. Doesn't really matter what happened in the 3 quarters before it. It all comes down to this. Well, the stage is set for the grandstand finish. 61-61, 10-minute mark of the final term, preliminary final. This is what it's all about. Who's going to stand up and be counted for their sides? Who's going to make themselves the hero and take their side through to the grand final? Gardner and Green in the middle once more. Somehow getting a foot to that one there was Clifford. The handball into space, but it's picked off there by Adams. And they'll go forwards once more. Eddie Cole just stands it up. Lovell had time. He just sat underneath it, took the mark. They're dominating this quarter at the moment. Kieran Lovell shrugs one way, sends it in to an unguarded Jordan Lane. How does that happen? No one within 10 metres of him.
It's the first time today he hasn't had Baker Smith or someone essentially on his person. That is remarkable that he found the space there, and it was a great kick, lowering the eyes to spot him up inside 50.
Extraordinary. Just about the most dangerous man on the ground. Left in that much space inside the forward 50, so he'd had his colours lower, Jordan Lane. He could respond here with 2 goals in 60 seconds to put the Tigers back ahead in the preliminary final. It's Jordan Lane. He'll kick from 45. He sends it on its way. It's straight through the middle again. Jordan Lane has 2 in a minute, and the Tigers suddenly lead by 6. They're playing a fantastic final quarter. They've thrown down the gauntlet to Clarence, and now it's over to the Roos to respond.
Certainly is. This has been magnificent work from the Kingborough Tigers, and yeah, Clarence have barely got the ball beyond centre, and we've played almost 12 minutes in this final term. It's quite remarkable. 3 goals, 3. We talked about them making the most of their opportunities. 3 goals, 3 this quarter for Kingborough. Clarence, they're yet to score. All of a sudden, the Tigers up by a goal. Just couldn't have really seen this happening 10 minutes ago, Drew. This has been remarkable stuff, and Jordan Lane, the catalyst, come back into the middle of the ground. How can Clarence respond? They've had the answers throughout the game when they've been challenged earlier on, but this is a different kettle of fish now. Grand final spot on the line. Kieran Lovell floats the ball inside 50. Tom Wright with a good hand just to move that ball on. Connor Salter tries to get rid of the football, eventually does. Ashland scraps away at ground level. Paprotny gets it out. Now Smith, or Keegan Ryan I should say, will bring the ball out of defensive 50. Nice work there from Zach Adams. Going head to head, lays the tackle on Howlett. What does the umpire say? That's holding the footy. Zach Adams putting together a fantastic afternoon. Now he'll look to drive this ball inside 50 for the Tigers. Hits it up to a dangerous spot. Lane's there. Lane almost rules in a mark. On the second grab, James Holmes lays the tackle and will have a stoppage. Lane, he's running hot at the moment, Drewy.
He's looming large. The midfield too. Clifford, Cole, Lovell starting to take over this contest. Lane takes it out of the ruck himself. Green just takes it away from him. Then he's claimed by Ashland. Ball out into space. Will be gathered by Holmes. Has a moment to prop. And then just try and clear defensive 50. Kicks to a contest. Spoil came from behind. Well done, Ryan. Ice cool under pressure there. And then Norton sends it up in the Garland direction. Donnelly in close proximity and sees it out of play. They're just dominating the contested ball in the midfield battle at the moment here, the Tigers. Suddenly, the forward line getting a little service and starting to look a little more dangerous as a result, I reckon. Jordan Lane starting to get some one-on-one looks. Both rucks missed this. Ball in dispute. Holmes got a foot to it, and then Clifford just ran straight past of it. All up. Oh, good contested mark that. A strong pair of hands from Ryan. A rare foray forward for the Roos. Can they make it count? Garland will be the target. Drew a crowd. Bounced off his chest. Handball out the back to Alomes. And we're all square once more. Clarence, first entry. They make it count. 67-67. I have the feeling we're in for a classic here in this final term, Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, this is fantastic, Drew. There's going to be a few twists and turns yet, but how about that mark from Keegan Ryan? He's really putting together a fantastic season across the board. A lot of the time it was early on in the season on the outside, but he's become a bit of an inside beast as well, and just showing his wares there with a good contested grab. 67 apiece, 9-13 to 10-7. Just a cracking game of football, and really couldn't have asked for much more in a preliminary final. Full of twists and turns, and as you said, this is going to go right down to the wire. Now it's over to both of these teams just to see who can stand tall in the dying moments. Eddie Cole overruns the football slightly, but I think he might get the free kick. Jack Preshaw held him a little too long. Defensive side of the centre circle. Eddie Cole gets the ball to Marcus Gardner. Gardner quickly plays it on to Lockie Clifford, his captain. Clifford spears the ball out to half forward. Luke Graham, the back of the pack, always dangerous around this part of the ground. Luke Graham keeps the ball in play, paddles it out in front of himself, eventually taps it over to Jordan Lane. Lane caught in the Baker Smith tackle, but Paprotny with ball in hand. He's tackled, just got the kick away. James Holmes takes the mark, and the Roos will just take a deep breath.
How about that from Graham? Then lays the tackle too. He's working hard. Ball in dispute. Lee's up there against Tremaine. That's out of play for a throw in. Scores level. The final quarter of the preliminary final. TSL footy at its best here this afternoon. This could go either way. Who will stand up here late? Green won it, but not decisively. Back in dispute. Clifford gets it, then gets collected by two. The tackles have been flying in all afternoon. Preshaw and Norton. It's been a terrific battle in the engine room this afternoon. Total commitment from all players. Run down by Ashland. Out the back, Preshaw claimed by Cole. And caught in the back, says the umpire. Free kick going the way of Jack Preshaw. 16 and a half gone in the final term. He just stands this one up into space. They'll drive it forward now through James Holmes. He's looking for Garland and Alomes. Neither could bring it down. Jack Tremaine inserting himself. The tackling heat has been there all afternoon. The umpire will have it once more. Toss it up. Garland against Donnelly in this contest. Garland won it down, running onto it. Baxter Norton couldn't gather it. Jacques Barwick from the pockets. He's offline, but he puts the Roos ahead. It's 68-67.
So much riding on every possession at the moment. 17 and change gone in the final term. Grand final spot on the line for these two teams. And at the moment, this could go either way as Clifford saunters his way through defensive 50. Kicks centrally. Lane unable to take the mark. Tries to get the handball out in the direction of Lovell. Lovell does well just to keep moving the ball forward. Wrapped up in the Holmes tackle. Got rid of the handball. Ashland overran the football slightly. Green gets it off to Norton around the corner. A high ball inside 50 for the Roos. Back of the pack now. Brady Rees takes the footy, wrapped up in the Barwick tackle. The umpire will come in and intervene. All of a sudden, Clarence starting to get the repeat entries inside 50. Winning the territory battle. Umpire Gayson throws the ball. Garland. Reardon. Potentially held without the football. The umpire says play on. Donnelly lays the tackle on Preshaw. We'll have another stoppage. Everyone on edge at the moment. 1 point the difference in favour of the Roos. Garland v Donnelly. Garland slaps it out into space. Lovell tied up against the boundary line. He's seen over by James Holmes. We'll have another stoppage in front of the grandstand here at the Twin Ovals. Just a cracking game of footy. Twists and turns, ebbs and flows. Ball's thrown in. Garland. Donnelly won the tap. Adams did well to get the handball off to Eddie Cole. It's a hot football at the moment. Cole goes centrally to Clifford. Clifford with a little bit of space. Spears the ball in the direction of Dygan. Couple of the leaders linking up now for the Tigers. Sam Dygan runs himself in a bit of trouble. Eventually gets the handball out. Support's there from Lane. Lane now to Lovell. Lovell gets it off to Clifford. Clifford thinks his way through. Dances his way to 50. Lockie Clifford towards goal. It's a vacant goal square. The goal square doesn't matter. Lockie Clifford. Fantastic finish from the captain. And Kingborough get the lead back.
Oh, it was brilliant through the midfield from the Tigers. They were patient. It was great use of hands. They didn't have anything on in the forward 50 ahead of them because they were all back desperately defending. Had to wait for that next level of runners to come through. They showed great patience. They worked it expertly. They broke the lines with their running. And in the end, it didn't matter that Clarence had the extra bodies back in defence as he slams it through from outside the arc of 50. What a goal. What a moment. Who knows what's to come, but if that stands as the match-winning goal, my goodness, you won't see many better than that.
Absolutely, from the captain as well. Just took the onus upon himself, Lockie Clifford. Asking his players to follow him, and Will Campbell inserts himself on ball as well.
Can the Roos now respond? It's been a gripping contest. Holmes has been enormous. Just paddles it into space. The tackle immediately laid by Howlett. Preshaw claims it, then he in turn is claimed. And the umpire comes in to gather it. We've ticked into red time here in the preliminary final. The home side have retaken the lead. It's been a seesawing contest this afternoon. Gardner and Green, one down to Norton. He was buffeted off it. Preshaw coming through. Gets his kick deep inside 50. Goes looking for his brother, but the mark is taken by Sorty. A good defensive mark on the last line there from Big Cooper Sorty. His kick clears defensive 50. Gardner with a strong pair of hands. Gets the better of Green. All these contests absolutely enormous now. And the experienced ruck says, I'll just take my time here, run a little clock, then kick to a contest. Sends it high. What a great kick, floated out of play. And even with Graham spoiling it, it was well and truly over the line. Probably done though, because it'll just delay the ball getting back to Green. Just allow them to get set up behind the ball here. Eventually Green lopes inside, sends the Roos to half forward. Spoil came from behind from Preshaw. Rees trying to bust through a pack. Hanslow, he's gathered by Rees, he's going nowhere. The umpire calls for it on centre wing.
Those are the moments you're preparing for all season, aren't you, Drewy? Months of pre-season training, 19 games across the course of the year. And a grand final spot on the line for these two outfits. Holmes grabs the football, wrapped up in the Dygan tackle, and that's holding the ball. Sam Dygan, fantastic tackle from him on James Holmes, and Kingborough. I'll just look to set this ball down the line. Dygan kicks in the direction of Lane. At the back of the pack, it's Ashland. Clever little kick around the corner. A little too hot there. Really heavy collision between O'Neill and Norton. O'Neill wrapped up in the tackle. Another stoppage just outside attacking 50 for the Tigers. 22 minutes have elapsed. Gardner taps it down. Clifford. Hanslow tied up against the line. Handballs it back to Graham, who's content to see it over. Cries of sufficient intent there from the Clarence faithful, but will be over and out for a throw-in.
Graham umpire to call that one at this stage. Wouldn't mind the interpretation reaching that at some stage, but it's not there yet as Green comes over the top, wins it down, spinning away with its O'Neill, tackled off it, has to be holding the footy, advantage paid. Green will take it for the Roos. It's an ugly flat kick forward that pitches ahead of Barwick. Rhiannon ducked ahead looking for the high tackle. Burgess with a crazy tackle that's rewarded with holding the football. I've got the words to describe that. Burgess drives it into the pocket. Can he find a mark? It's over Howlett's head. Ball in dispute. High tackle, surely. Umpires paid it. And the Roos will have their captain, Jared Harper, to go back and put them back ahead by a point.
This game has had it all. The captain at one end, the captain at the other.
The man for the moment. The leader of this football club, Jared Harper, can go back in the 24th minute of the final quarter of the preliminary final to put the Roos ahead by one. He has! Jared Harper with a captain's goal, and the Roos hold sway by a point.
What a game of football. What a season, what a final series. Jared Harper just takes the moment upon himself. 11-8-74, plays 10-13-73. That was just a crazy minute of football. The tackle on Elijah Reardon, just remarkable. Jared Harper, with all the pressure in the world, fantastic finish. So we go back to the middle and just can't help but feel there are a few twists and turns left yet. 24 and a half gone in the final term, Drewy. Here we go. Gardner v Green. Big ball to win. College comes in and lays the tackle. We'll have a stoppage, defensive side of the circle for Kingborough. 1 point the difference. Gardner slaps it down. Clifford tackled by Preshaw. Preshaw continuing to try and surge the football here. Numbers coming in support for Kingborough. We'll have another stoppage. Vital moments being ticked off the clock now. Ball's thrown up. Gardner slaps it down. Out into space. Liam Howard stands firm. So too Lockie Ballsboom, wrapped up in a tackle. A couple of metres gained by the Tigers. Gardner v Green. Gardner wins it down. Really clever stuff there from Adams, trying to move the ball on. He's met heavily by Ballsboom, and that's high contact. Zach Adams. A high up and under kick. It's an ugly football. Whoever can mark this is doing a very good job. No one does. Eddie Cole wrapped up in the pre-short tackle. James Holmes, now Ballsboom. Clarence get the ball away, but only as far as Cooper Sorty.
Sorty can reload. He's off his mark though. Oh, umpire has paid 50. Oh, wow. He said Preshaw move before the whistle. And Cooper Sorty's going to be brought within range. An enormous goal. Sorty, he'll kick from 45 to 50 out. His team trailed by a point. Cooper Sorty sets sail for home. It won't have the journey. All hands on deck at the back. The Clarence players come in and escort it across the line. Harper and a stoppage inside forward 50. 26 and a half we've travelled. Who knows how long is left? Time enough for you to imagine for the Tigers to win it if they're good enough. Back into play it goes. Carter takes it out of the ruck, fires a handball to Adams. He's immediately wrapped up. Harper weaves out, gets the kick away. It's marked by Gardner. Big Marcus Gardner has taken the mark. And he'll go back and this will take his best, but perhaps crucially just needs to at least get that behind. Has to at least score here. Bare minimum. The last attempt fell short. The experienced Marcus Gardner. I'm not sure a ruckman's who I'd want the ball in the hands of, but he's got his opportunity here to show all the experience. His team trail by a point. He kicks from 50. It's drifting. It's drifting through. Marcus Gardner with a goal that might win it. It's the Tigers by 5. A remarkable kick from the big ruckman. And the Roos now. Do they have the time left to respond, Anthony Osborne?
What drama, Drewy. What drama. The Cooper Sorty kick fell short. The Clarence players did the right thing. They kept it in play. Marcus Gardner takes a big mark and cometh the moment. Cometh Marcus Gardner, the big man. You can see the Tigers players. Every single player got to Marcus Gardner. Now we come to the middle of the ground. We don't know how long's left. 28 and a bit gone. Remarkably, 5 goals in this final term from Kingborough. They kicked 6 across the first 3 quarters. Sensational stuff from the hosts as we come back to the middle of the ground. Gardner v Green. Green comes in. Tries to extract the football, he does. Is there time for Clarence? Hanslow just pushed as he tried to kick the football. A big ball to win now. Hanslow gets it back, jumps over an opponent, gets it off to Preshaw. Preshaw with a high kick to the pocket. Donnelly v Garland. Donnelly takes the mark.
Superb.
Outstanding stuff, Ben Donnelly, and that's the siren. The Kingborough Tigers make a senior TSL Grand Final for the very first time in the most dramatic of circumstances. Andrew Cooling, what a game of football.
What a sport. What a game this is. Preliminary final. The big ruckman Marcus Gardner from 50. There must have been 30 seconds left on the clock when he plucked that one. He puts it through, and then even then Clarence have one last roll of the dice, and fitting that a one-on-one won by Ben Donnelly seals it, because I thought he was magnificent. He had the toughest matchup in the TSL today. He acquitted himself magnificently. He takes the mark. They win the game. Bloody football, eh?
Absolutely speechless, Drewy. That was just everything you want in a preliminary final. Kingborough dominated things early on, didn't capitalise. Clarence surged away. Kingborough a couple of times came back. Clarence had the answers, and the last quarter was just ridiculous. A ridiculous game of football. The final term, 5 goals, 3 from the Kingborough Tigers, and 3 goals, 1 from the Clarence Roos. Just the most dramatic of finishes. Heroes across the park for both sides, but ultimately for Kingborough, the heroes got them over the line. Just a remarkable game of football. Run through the goal kickers and get your thoughts on a couple of things in a moment there, Drewy. For Kingborough, 3 goals to Tyler Carter, kicking them at important times. 2 goals to Luke Graham. 2 goals to Jordan Lane, both coming in the last term. Singles to Lockie Clifford, Marcus Gardner, George O'Neill and Connor Salter with that Marcus Gardner goal. Just incredibly clutch. And for Clarence, 2 goals to Harper, 2 goals to Holmes, 2 goals to Jacques Barwick, singles to Preshaw, Borsburn, Alomes and Norton. You can just see what that means to Trent Baumler and the Kingborough coaching staff. Paul Godomsky wearing the Tiger novelty tee. A monumental day for this football club. A monumental day. They've made a grand final for the first time, and they've got a chance to take it up to Launceston next week. Just fantastic scenes, aren't they? Remarkable.
Yeah, they'll be soaking this moment in. You can see what it means to them. And look, this is a game I think both coaches will acknowledge this could have gone either way. Either one could be celebrating right now. It's such a fine line between the ecstasy and despair that you see from the 2 respective camps after that result. Such fine margins. Marcus Gardner puts it through from 50 out to win the game. There's another 30 seconds on the clock, maybe Clarence win it. It was that sort of final quarter. One team would take the lead, the other would reclaim it. It was finals footy at its absolute best. This is why we love the game. This is everything you love about the sport on display. And the Tigers get the chocolates, get through to the big dance. They've got an enormous task facing them next week against Launceston, but for now, they can enjoy and celebrate this one. This is one that will live long in the memory. Yeah, you've got to be in it, and that's exactly what they've positioned themselves to do. They've been the second best team across the course of the year, and they thoroughly deserve their shot at the grand final next week. And full credit to Clarence. At the start of the year, I don't think anyone would have given them a shot of playing off in a preliminary final and losing a preliminary final by just 5 points. So many personnel changes from a playing perspective, a new coach in Peter Ryan, but he's brought this attacking, really entertaining game style, and they've come within a kick of making a grand final. It's a fantastic season for Clarence, and it sets them up for what should be a really exciting couple of years for the men in red and white as well. Yeah, I think they've got to give them an enormous tick for the season. They've taken it down to the dying seconds of the preliminary final. It'll be heartbreak for them tonight, but perhaps with a few days separation they'll be able to reflect upon a pretty successful year. I think the future's bright. I think we've seen some of the youngsters they've got coming through. They've been really impressive. Obviously the veteran Colin Garland there is the spearhead leading, and they put together a fantastic season. And if they had won today, you would have said, fair enough, worthy winners. This was a game that you've just got to feel sorry for either side. Someone had to win it, someone had to lose it. They've just fallen short, but geez, they gave a tremendous fight this afternoon. For so much of that match, I thought it was going to be Clarence going through. They've just been pipped right at the final hurdle. An insane game of football, a remarkable finish, and Kingborough have truly deserved their shot at the grand final next week. They run out 11-13-79 to 11-8-74 winners at the Twin Ovals. Kingborough up against Launceston in the TSL decider next Saturday afternoon at UTAS Stadium. Of course, Clarence also featuring in the under-18s and the Development League. Both of those games coming up against Launceston as well. But
think we both need to take a deep breath, Drewy. That was just a ridiculous finish. Thank you for your company on the live stream today. Thanks to Ash Wilkes in the studio, Andrew McCarthy on the camera. Of course, Andrew doing the double shift with the Development League before as well, so thoroughly appreciated. Thank you for your company and Daily Potato Co support. We'll see you next week on TSL Grand Final Day. Bye for now.